Yo, what's going on, y'all? Today I'm back with some more 2042. I think the beta for Battlefield 6 doesn't go over the weekend, or the weekday, sorry. Jesus Christ. So, we're just bringing it back with a good old 2042. Right now, I do live in Chicago, and there's a huge storm going on. So if you hear some thunder, some lightning strikes, like that's not in game, and that's just some lightning going on. But I always liked lightning. I thought it was always kind of relaxing and calming. So, but yeah, if you hear some lightning, there's just a little storm going on outside. Play some Battlefield, just chat it up a little bit. Have a chill time. Thought today, instead of just doing like a Battlefield review, I would talk about Europe. I just came back from a Europe trip. Went for a week. I was in Belgium. I went to Ghent and Bruges, and then I went to Germany for a day, and then the UK. I was in the UK by myself for like a day. So I went to Big Ben, House of Parliament, fucking got me some pot pie and liquor sauce. That shit was pretty good. But I thought I would just give my thoughts on a perspective of American cities and then European cities, because I've been to Spain, Morocco. I know Morocco's not Europe, but there we go, that's a big one. Spain, Morocco, France, Italy, Greece, Turkey, UK, Belgium, Germany, and Gibraltar. I don't know if I think Gibraltar is like a territory, but yeah, Gibraltar. So I've been to my fair share. And then America, I've been to New York, Jesus Christ, New York, okay. New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, I went to school near there. Miami, Minneapolis, Kansas City, Boston, had some tournaments there, Seattle, the major cities. I know there's a trend on TikTok right now. I don't know why, but like I'm infatuated on killing this thing. But I know right now on TikTok there's that trend of the top 4 cities, and people can't agree what the fourth one is. I know number 1 is always New York, like duh, that's fair. Number 2 is always Los Angeles, which is also fair. And then 3 is Chicago. Take some dubs, even though I've been living here for a month. 3 is Chicago. And then 4 is either some random fucking city in the middle of nowhere, or they do like San Francisco, Boston. But the first thing I noticed, I would say, is that European cities are a lot more like aesthetically and architecturally welcoming. And what I mean by that is there's more open spaces, and probably because they were designed before cars. Like most of the American cities that were grandfathered in before cars, they're like the same. They're not the same level of walkability, but they have the same like openness when it comes to like parks and things like that. But I just think that because there's so many like plazas in Europe, so there's so many churches, there's so many cafes, it just creates a bigger environment of like welcoming, and you just go there, chill, have a coffee with your friends, maybe smoke a cigarette, do the classic European things that you would. So I would say is the first thing. Like even just walking around like Brussels and Ghent and Bruges, you can really just tell that it was made before cars, and like the cars were kind of an afterthought after World War II, when fucking that's a topic for another day. When American oil monopolies, they were like, okay, we're gonna put hella oil and make everyone become car dependent, which is low-key detrimental for the world and for the well-being of society. But I can make another video on walkable cities. I think that's a big thing with me right now. But yeah, more open areas, more plazas, more parks. That's another big thing. Just more parks. Better design for the average person to walk in. And damn, that was a big one. I'm from SoCal, so I'm not used to these big ass motherfucking storms and shit. But yeah, I would say the second thing would definitely be the people. And before I get there, let me touch on something that maybe a lot of people don't touch on. In American cities, I think I feel more like on edge. Like I don't feel like I can just relax. And I'll give an example. I remember one time, me and some good friends, we went to Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco, and there was a fight happening outside of Bubblegum Shrimp. Jesus, bro. I think this was like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., so we were all like stoned. But there was a fight going out Bubblegum Shrimp, and one of the people, they just ran to their trunk to grab something, and one of my friends like, he's getting his gun, he's getting his gun. You know, we don't know what he was grabbing to this day. But if he was grabbing a gun, like, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm getting fucking cooked. But I think there's just a greater sense of, like, fear. And I have, at least in the United States. And I don't know if that's just, like, fucking Fox News or CNN playing into the news and, like, making me think it's way worse than it is. But every time I just walk around these U.S. cities, like, I'm always looking behind my back, just in case, you know, someone decides it's their fucking time to be a main character. Oh my god. That was, you guys didn't see that. But it's their fucking time to be a main character and then whip out the Glock. That I will say is a worry that I don't have in Europe. And I'll tell you another story. I was in London. I was in Piccadilly for that fucking Warzone map, for those who know. But I was in Piccadilly and there was a fight. So there's this guy that had like a convenience store. I bought a pack of British cigarettes from this guy, but I know everyone knows that like Labubus are like the main thing right now, and this guy was selling Lafufus, so it was a bunch of fake Labubus, and I think this British guy stole it. Like he stole one of the Lafufus, which was like fucking £5, bro. Just pay the £5, but stole one of the Lafu. Okay, I'm 6 and 10, guys. This is not good. But he stole one of the Lafufus, and then he had a group of like 4 or 5 people, and then the other guy, I think he was like a Pakistani or Indian guy, the shop owner. But this Pakistani dude had like 3 of his buddies, and I'm smoking a cigarette. I was a little bit drunk too because I was just at a bar, but I'm smoking the cigarette with my brother and his friend, and I just hear like, oh hey, like give that shit. It was a British accent, but he was like, hey, give that shit back, and I look over, and they're fucking duking it out like a proper like 1-2 combo, fisticuffs going around, and they're fighting. And then this I think the British dude that stole it whips out a glass bottle and chucks it at the store owner, and it doesn't clock him, but it grazes him and he starts bleeding. So he's bleeding out the side of his head, and then he rushes to go inside of his store, and that's when I was like, damn, it's going hard right now. And that's when I was like, hey, like, we should back up. And I was like, he's not grabbing a gun because you can't fucking have those. But who knows if he's grabbing a knife or he's grabbing like, maybe he does have a gun. I don't know. Or he's grabbing a knife, grabbing a weapon of any sort. I'd rather be further away from it than closer to it, is my point. But yeah, so even though I saw a fight, I never felt as in danger as I would in an American city. And I can tell you guys another story. So sorry if that's too annoying. I haven't really taken that into account. But at my college, we have this thing called Picnic Day. And what it is, it's just a day where people just gather around and they kind of wake up at 5 a.m. and they just fucking get drunk. Like, it's just an excuse to get drunk. But for the city, there's like a bunch of events where you can do cockroach races. You can do like what are those dogs, like Dixon Derby, yeah. So you do dog races, like arts and crafts, and the college hosts it, and it's overall just a good time. But for the college student, it's just an excuse to drink. And usually the frats, they have like security, and I was like, why does a frat have fucking security? Like, it ain't that deep. But anyway, you have to buy a ticket. So I bought a ticket for like $10, got a wristband like a few days before. Bought a ticket, went by security, and I was like, that's kind of cringe, you know. I don't know why we need security for one of these places. But had my thing, did everything, went from frat to frat, and it was a good time. And there was another frat that didn't have security. Okay, where's my RPG? I didn't get my rocket off, but anyway. Didn't have security, didn't have wristbands. It just held it in a public park. Not that that's like inherently wrong or anything, but people from SAC started to come in, and you know, SAC houses a lot of people, but it also houses a lot of like, for lack of a better term, like fucking criminals. But it houses a lot of criminals, and I guess one of them came, and he saw someone he wasn't like. Sorry, let me lock you in for this. Okay, that was a fucking failure of flank. But I saw one of his rivals, I guess, and then whipped out an extended mag Glock and started shooting. And some of the bullets went straight into a like little league baseball game. Luckily, no kids got hit, but there's bullets flying into this like little league game, and I'm like, this is just something you never see in like Japan, something you never see in Korea. I know this is a video about Europe. I think now I'm just like ranting about cities and like American gun safety, but so me and my friend are sitting there because at this point we were walking back. Me and my friend are walking back, and I'm like, dude, are those fucking gunshots? And then 10 minutes later, there's a helicopter going around the area saying, the event is canceled. Please go home. Like, police are now in the area. The event is canceled. And it was like a day where you're supposed to just chill, maybe have a few beers, you smoke a joint, and just relax. But no, it had to get shot up, had to get ruined. And it's just kind of sad that like you can't really do anything these days without worrying about getting shot in America. So that's what I'm saying when there's like a sense of safety and a sense of like relaxing that you can do in Europe that you can't, well, unless you're going to like the subway at like 2 a.m. That like, don't be dumb, like be smart. But just a sense of safety and a sense of like comfort that I get in Europe that I don't get in the US. And I have that feeling like to this day. I studied, I think I'll do an in-depth video about this. This was kind of all over the place. Just talking about like safety and things like that in different continents. But I was studying abroad in Japan, and it never once did I feel like in danger. Like the worst thing I saw was like someone throwing up in public. Like God forbid, you know, that's just the average Friday night in any American city. But you just don't feel like you can get shot. Like if I was at the wrong place, wrong time, like 5 minutes more, like I could have gotten shot for just doing picnic day and like having a good time and trying to chill. Like if I wasn't where I was and I wasn't being like somewhat street aware, like I could have gotten shot and I could have died. And that's just like pretty sad to think about. And I'm thinking about this more and more as I get older and as I like work in the US. I don't know if the US for me is like the end goal. You know, politics are going everywhere. People are talking about like fucking World War III and shit. But I don't know, food for thought for you guys. But to get back on track when I'm just comparing America and Europe, I would say the people are nicer. German people, I got yelled at. I got yelled at for bringing an energy drink into like a little cafe, which like my fault, my bad. But like the first waiter saw it and he didn't say shit, so I thought I'd be able to get by, but I guess not. But you know, they're stern. They make their point known. Belgium's really nice. Maybe just because we're tourists, and we're like in the touristy parts of it. But Belgians are super nice. People stop by to chat you up. They ask you where you're from. And Americans have a lot like that over politeness too. But yeah, I would say I think Europeans are a bit more helpful than most Americans. And I'll say definitely people on the West Coast. Americans on the West Coast are not as nice and open as like Americans in Chicago or Europeans. So that's just what I mean by that. And maybe because everything's like, people are so diverse. These cities that I'm talking about, like Rome, Florence, Ghent, Bruges, Brussels, they kind of feel all the same with different architecture because of how like diverse the population of like the world is now. So that's like, that's an observation I had. Like I went to Europe in 2019, and at the time they were still a bit more homogenous than they are now. But now there's just people from all over the place, people from, you know, all over the world, and it kind of just feels like LA, but like the language they're speaking is French instead of, you know, oh my god, hey, like English. I think I'm going up against a bunch of fucking sweats. I know I'm doing ass, but like these guys are sweaty. Food wise, sorry, I'm gonna have to give that to America. I think American food is just so good, and I know for Chicago's like a culinary capital of the world, so I might be spoiled. And SoCal. SoCal is also like another really good area for food, is what I've noticed. So maybe I've just been spoiled, but you have good Italian food, good Asian food in SoCal especially. You can't beat the pho. Good Mexican food, you know, being right on the border with Mexico. Just good everything. In Europe, the food is like not as good unless you go to like Michelin star places, which, you know, if you're a family of 4 or family of 5, you're just gonna run you back like $2,000. So you can't just be going to that like every day. But I think I'll come back with a more structured video. I didn't make a script for this one, so it's kind of just my thoughts. Hence me talking about like fucking gun safety and like picnic day and shit. But yeah, I'll write like a Google Doc or something and really compare what I thought about it, and then say something else. But I don't know. I thought I'd hop on. You know, there's some lightning going on, good vibes, relaxing vibes. But you know, as always, I hope you guys have a good one, and then good luck with all your endeavors. Keep your head up, keep grinding. If you're going through a tough time, things will get easier. Yeah, I'll see you guys later.